Welcome back to another episode of The Switch. We made it, guys. Clap it up, episode 3. Woo. We've not been cancelled. We made it this far.
Yeah.
Alright, the first episode, we've had robust conversations, but it's also about the men. Let's talk about the women today.
Really?
Yeah, the WNBA has been hot. Today on here, by the way, Ifeanyi and... Oh, Ifeanyi, what's your last name?
Ifeanyi Ofomadu.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ifeanyi.
What do you have against?
Pronouncing that.
What do you have against last name?
Long ass last name. Tosin Abayami, I don't have anything against the last name. So Tosin is here.
They not like us.
Tosin Sports.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
Tosin is
to the fans. Explain to the fans, to your loving fans out there.
I'm dripped in. Okay, I'm not dripped in red.
No, you're not.
Please don't be claiming blood and cream from Lagos, Nigeria. Let us talk some basketball.
Yeah, let's get into it.
And yeah, Caitlin Clark has been has become the face of the WNBA, whether they like it or not. But the evidence suggests that the WNBA players do not like it. Or am I tripping?
No, you're not. I believe that there's some internal, I would say, hatred towards her and I think also you have to understand that if people have been doing, you're doing your job for a while, you're doing your job to the best of your abilities, and then someone just comes in and it's like,
and everybody's talking about her like she's the savior.
Yeah, like she's the best thing since, I can see why they would feel. But another question is it warranted? Is it like she's not good enough or she's not that good? So, it might be a case of people saying, what's she even doing or how good is she? So it's like, is she good because if you tell me, I don't know, when MJ came into the league, if you say players were hitting on MJ, MJ was good enough to turn haters into friends. But
of course, by MJ, I went to
Michael Jordan, yes.
Could have been Magic Johnson.
No, Michael Jordan. So is she good enough to turn this negative energy into like, oh, after a year or two, people are like, wow, she's so good? Or is it just a case of she's really not that good and the hatred is warranted? I don't know.
Yeah. I think Tosin, as the historian of the game, as he always calls himself, how good is Caitlin Clark?
Yeah. So I think,
is she good for a female basketball player, or she's like just good?
I think she's a generational player. I honestly believe that. And I think from a historical perspective, we have to go back to their college days. Because a lot of people say, okay, Caitlin Clark was not this, but like Caitlin Clark has a unique game. And even in the WNBA, she has brought that unique game to the NBA. She's shooting the most threes from the furthest distance.
Yeah. About
29 feet. That's with majority where most of our threes are.
But someone will tell you that Sabrina Ionescu.
Yeah, Sabrina, as at the time of recording of this episode, Sabrina has 52 threes, Caitlin Clark has 51 threes, and Kayla Maybell has 51 threes. So, like, she's neck and neck with the best 3-point shooters, even in the W.
Okay.
And she has not even been able to be that, like, she's still settling in. You understand? So, she has a very unique game. But you go back to her college career at Iowa, where she really made a name for herself. She, obviously, with her game, she was not the most hyped prospect coming in. In her recruiting class, she was number 4. She was behind Angel Reese. She was behind Pete Buchers, who is at UConn. And obviously, over time, as it turns out, Paige, who was supposed to be the golden girl of college women's hoop, she got injured.
Yeah,
and unfortunately for her, but fortunately for Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark actually elevated in terms of eyeballs, and in terms of also, she also improved her game. So when she spearheaded the Iowa Hawkeyes to the national championship game, they beat an undefeated South Carolina team, which had her teammate now, Aliyah Boston, beat them in the semifinals, but they ultimately lost to LSU that featured Angel Reese in the finals. And obviously, Angel Reese won the title, but the next year she came back, she beat Angel Reese in the Elite Eight, then progressed, beat Paige Buchers in the Final Four, and eventually now lost to the South Carolina Gamecocks in the final. So, like, she has a rich history of dominating. She didn't win the national championship, but one thing she was able to do in college was she was able to build her brand. You understand? Yes. She was able to build her brand, and she brought those fans. Forget the game. I'm even just talking about her brand.
She brought her fans.
She brought her fans from college to the WNBA, which is there are a lot of good players in the WNBA, but for some reason or another, those players were not able to bring their France from college to the W. And I think that's where the jealousy or insecurity comes from.
Yeah, okay.
Tosin already called it insecurity, so perhaps you should not overflog that. But I'm trying to look at the WNBA standings at the moment. I know the FIFA are bad. That's the team that
they started out bad, but
they won 4 in a row before improved, they lost to the Chicago Sky.
They've improved.
So I think right now they are 9th. The Chicago Sky are 8th.
They're 9th.
I think they have a 7 and 11 record. I think
they're 9th. 7 and 11. 7 and 11 for the FIFA. 8 games back. So I don't know what their playoffs look at the time of recording. So, but people consistently pull up to watch this team that is bad because they want to see this one.
Clark, yeah.
And a lot of the arguments in favor of the WNBA's growth is not tied to Caitlin Clark. You heard the likes of Monica McNaught say, you heard the likes of Chineo Ogumike say this, is that the league was on a steady upward curve before Caitlin Clark was drafted, that the game was already growing. And while that might be true, I don't think anybody can also deny that Caitlin Clark has probably fast-tracked.
Absolutely. Her impact has been immense.
So you see what she's doing this season. She's averaging 16 points per game. And you mentioned the Angel Reese comparison from college, and it's good that both of them are in the same draft class. They are both in contention for Rookie of the Year. Two very different types of players. Angel Reese is your stereotypical paint player.
Yeah, more defensive minded.
Yeah, she plays bigger than she actually is. She's not that physically imposing. She actually could be a guard in terms of like her physique, but she plays like the aggressive player in the paint and whatnot. Who is your Rookie of the Year choice? Because between these two, Cameron Brink, elite white milk. She's out. Unfortunately,
ACL, yeah.
Unfortunately, she did her ACL, which is it's me personally. I had to take a break from working to mourn Cameron Brink's ACL, and I hope that she returns.
Hope so.
Well, that's my baby right there. But Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Who's your Rookie
for Rookie? I think I'm going with Angel Reese. I just feel like personally she impacts her team more than Caitlin Clark does. I think and we just saw them play the other night. She dropped 25 and 16 on the fever. There was no stopping her. I think she probably came into the league more league ready than Caitlin Clark, in my opinion. I feel like she impacts her team more, especially on the defensive end. Obviously, I don't know if she's averaging 10 or 11 rebounds.
11 rebounds.
Yeah, so that's impressive.
Second in the league to Aja Wilson.
And and I've seen them go head to head. I just think that she, of course, because of narrative, hype, whatever, she might not. But I think I would go for Angel Reese right now.
It's important to add context that the Sky actually right next to the Fever on the
yeah,
table.
So that's why team ranking right now.
Yeah, although Indiana have played way more games. For otherwise, it seems like Caitlin plays every night. They should not kill. They should not kill that game.
The Sky's record is 6. I think it's 6 games.
6 and 9. So. Fever is 7 and 11.
But to be fair, the Fever's run over the last couple of games is what has even made it look. Because I know they started really badly. I think they had 6 or 2
they were 2 and 8 at the past.
Yeah, so they had like four straight.
They now won 5
exactly.
out of 6.
So I think Angel Reese should take it.
For me, it's Caitlin Clark, and it's a no-brainer. And the last fixture between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark has spewed up a lot of propaganda, and obviously. Angel Reese hugging Sherry Swoops, saying she's a dog. Let's not forget, this is the third meeting between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark at the WNBA level. The first 2 times they met, no disrespect to Angel Reese, but Caitlin Clark mopped the floor with her. You understand? And the Indiana Fever, especially the first time they met, she won the first 2 games against.
Yeah.
And that was even when they were actually struggling a lot. You understand? Like 2 of our first victories were actually against
the Sky,
against the Sky. And even in this game, obviously, I watched it, a very, very interesting game, and Angel Reese was dominant. She was dominant in this game. But with about 7 minutes to go, the Indiana Fever had about a 15-point lead, and all of a sudden their coach criticized, I don't know, somebody just hit the toilet flush in her brain, and things just went things just went sideways from there. But looking at it, if you look at it, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark leads all rookies in terms of points, in terms of assists, and she's second also in blocks. And she's technically not even a center. And she averages about 1 block a game, which shows the effort she's putting in on the defensive end. Okay. 2, you cannot look at Angel Reese. Angel Reese takes majority of her shots from inside the paint. She's 6'6". She takes majority of her points inside the paint, off the glass, which is fine.
I mean, ESPN listed at 6'3".
Yeah, which is fine. But like you look at Caitlin Clark, like I said, the distance of her threes, you understand the difficulty of her being guarded. I've seen a player shoot a free throw, not forgetting that she has another free throw, and just leave it and mark Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is getting guarded from 94 feet. So the attention to detail, the attention that they command on the court, you understand? There's a reason why Caitlin Clark is dominating, at least in the 3 major statistical categories, which is points. She's leading all rookies in points, leading all rookies in assists, and she's already.
I wouldn't say that's dominating. Caitlin Clark is averaging 16.
She's averaging. Which is the most among rookies. Among rookies.
There is averaging 13.
Among rookies. We are comparing them among their contemporaries now.
Okay.
Crazy.
And yeah, so like if there are 4 major categories, and Caitlin Clark is first in 2, the 2 major ones, which is point and assist, and in rebounds, even though she's not a big, she's 4th in rebounds and 2nd in blocks, which are the major statistical categories. I feel she has done enough, but obviously this is going to continue for the rest of the season. But even as at the point of recording now, I feel Caitlin Clark is still far ahead for the Rookie of the Year, given that the difference between the 2 teams is just 1 game.
Yeah.
So I think the better performer has been Caitlin Clark.
I feel like a lot of the Caitlin Clark conversations have been unfair to her. And I'm going to protest this with our next line of discussion, which is the fact that she was left off Team USA. In which Stephen A went on a rant about how that is a mistake, and I agree with him. I agree with the logic. I'm not saying in terms of ability she's one of the best players in the league, even though she's still a rookie. But I'm not saying this is entirely based on ability. It's Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, you need to leverage that. The influence that she currently has at the moment. You need to leverage that.
Well, I don't think that anybody can name all 15 players on the US women's roster. Like, one of them could walk in here and shake our hands.
I think it's a mistake. You get way more. You almost triple or quadruple your viewers and the interest in you. Because, I mean, no offense, but I'm watching the US men's team at the Olympics. But if you had Caitlin Clark, you would certainly have a wider audience.
Come on, man. You want the women to come for you? I'm not watching the women's team.
I mean,
will be watching this basketball. It's the Olympics.
We'll
be watching it. It's not like the games will be on at the same time.
I would always watch both sides of the Olympics, men and women's. However, and the thing about the American society, even though we are Nigeria, but looking at it, we have our own issues in Nigeria, obviously, with corruption and other things. But like looking at the American society, also they have their own challenges. And for women, there's a little bit of you have to look at race, and you obviously have to look at sex. You understand? Like gender. Let me just use
gender.
Let me just use gender.
That's safer.
Like in the women's league, there is the issue of white and black. You understand? So these are the things and the challenges that Caitlin Clark has to. You understand? Like you look at her stats comparable to someone like Kelsey Plum, comparable to somebody like Diana Taurasi, comparable to someone like Drew Lloyd, who are on that team. Mm-hmm. You understand? Her stats match bar for bar, stats for stats. Yeah, she's right there. Now, the question is, what is the difference in Diana Taurasi going to the 2004 Olympics in Athens, just straight out of college, and Caitlin Clark making the team straight out of college? If there's no difference, the only difference is if there's no propaganda, why shouldn't Caitlin be on the team? You hear people say, oh, obviously, Diana Taurasi won championship. The UConn won, I think, 11 championships in 16 years. So, like, they always won. Why? Their team was stacked. If the championship was the pivotal thing to Caitlin Clark, she should have probably left Iowa during this time of NIL transfer. She should have left Iowa to go to either UConn or go to South Carolina to win the championship. You understand? But she stayed in Iowa because she's from Iowa. That's the only reason why she didn't win. She didn't win the national championship. So you look at it comprehensively. I felt I am not someone who is going to tell USA basketball what to do, but I'll just particularly say that like they missed an opportunity in not taking Caitlin Clark.
Absolutely. And as we approach the end of the show, Buzzer Beater, let's quickly run through the US women's basketball team. The guys are obviously, I was joking earlier. Nafisa Collier.
Nafisa Collier, very good player.
Kalia Cooper, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner. In my opinion, was
interesting.
Sabrina Ionescu, of course.
Absolutely.
Jewel Lloyd, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi.
It's a strong team. It's a strong team.
It's a strong team. You look at it from the perspective that like the US have won 6 straight gold medals at the Olympics in basketball.
Yeah.
They are going for a 7th. Obviously, the competition is stiffer now. But as the tradition has always been, just the same way Candice Parker didn't go to the 2012 Olympics because of the incoming of Brianna Stewart.
Yeah.
You always try and integrate the players as early as possible. You understand? Bring them into the team as early as possible. And that's just my own perspective.
Okay. Anyway, Angel Reese is there, so all is well with the world. As far as I'm concerned, let's let that.
She's the best player in the world at the moment. So. Angel Reese is the best player in the world.
She's whatever she wants to be. Jackie Young and of course the rest of the staff. Anyway, that's our show. Caitlin Clark dominated the conversations today on the Switch. Tunde Young, Ifeanyi, and Tosin Abayomi.
Yeah. She's not like us.
Let this be the last time. See you next time, guys.